Hello. We're gonna do something a little different today. So, some of you might have noticed the community post saying the next Best of Thrones would be out in 2 weeks, and that was put up more than 2 weeks ago. My apologies. My life has kind of blown up a little bit recently. I'm still working on the video. The audio is completely done, but I'm only about like a tenth of the way through like the adding like the visuals. Um, and that is the most time consuming part of the process. I'm kind of hesitant to even give an estimate because I don't want to disappoint, but it's probably going to be another month before I get that video out. So in the meantime, to prevent my humble little audience from starving, I'm gonna start trying to get like secondary content uploaded, like conversation with friends and just little things like this. Where today I'm going to be breaking down the recent House of the Dragon Season 2 trailer. For a bit of context, I have not read Fire and Blood, so I will not be capable of spoiling this for you, if that is a concern. So let's just jump right into it.
The Targaryen who sits the Iron Throne is not just a king or a queen.
Oh. I'm fucking excited. So we're gonna be. I'm really excited. So season 1, we kind of did a twist on the Game of Thrones formula, where instead of jumping between a bunch of locations, we were jumping. We were kind of blitzing through the timeline. The first season's like 19 years, but now we're gonna slow down and we're gonna start jumping locations like they did in the original Game of Thrones show, which I'm really excited for because it means we get to play all the hits. We get to see the Starks and the Lannisters. I'm curious if they're gonna end up like clashing directly at any point. Yeah, because I'm not very well read on the history of Westeros. Most of my knowledge is confined to the Game of Thrones books themselves. I haven't even finished A Dance with Dragons, which I know some people are gonna unsub just from hearing that. But it's not that I didn't care or that I wasn't enjoying it. I started getting through the books like I think a year and a half ago, and I chewed through the first four in like a month, which is crazy. I've not read that quickly in a long, long time, and I have not done that again since. But I ground to a screeching halt because the realization set in. I was like, fuck, these like next 600 pages are potentially the last like 600 pages of like fresh, true Game of Thrones that I'm ever gonna get to read for the first time. And yeah, I was like, fuck it. I'll check it out later. Cause I was having such a good time. It's kind of like watching Lord of the Rings extended, after watching like the theatrical originally. Cause it's like, oh my God, there's all this new shit, new scenes, new characters, new content that I didn't even know existed in this universe that I love. And it's super, super neat. And yeah, so if you have seen the show and you have not read the books, I do recommend them. I would say they are better. They are also more difficult to read as well. The show is pretty fucking brutal. And it doesn't hold back much, but obviously for ethical reasons, certain characters were aged up significantly. And it makes it more gross in the books, but it also makes it crazy, crazy interesting. And it also makes it just feel really raw because it's like, fuck, like as cushy as our lives are now, it really strains your modern like sensibilities, having to think like, shit, this is what like kids were dealing, this is what like 14-year-olds were dealing with like hundreds of years ago on our planet. And yeah, the show kind of gives you a glimpse at how people deal with that shit. But as for the Starks, really excited to see the ancestral Starks. I'm curious what we're doing at the Wall. Uh, season 1 did this thing, which I don't know how a lot of people feel about it. I know myself and many. I don't know if anyone likes it, like per se, but I know a lot of people are put off by all the references to Game of Thrones, especially references to like the Long Night and that fucking dagger, that stupid fucking dagger. Them like doubling down on that being an incredibly important fucking MacGuffin in this universe. I'm not a huge fan of that. I do think season 1 of House of the Dragon handles the dagger way better than like the later seasons of Game of Thrones. And if those later seasons of Game of Thrones didn't exist, I would not be that off put by the dagger at all. But I also just I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't think it's smart. I don't unless they're planning to pull the ultimate like Giga Chad move and actually like redo the later seasons of Game of Thrones, where they fix that ending. I don't know if it's a good idea to keep fucking referencing the absolute travesty of a finale that was the Long Night. Uh, I'd rather you just not remind me of it because that's my. It's like the most. It's like the biggest scar I have from that fucking show. And I find myself enjoying House of the Dragon. And then they're like, oh, the Long Night is coming, and it's like, yeah, but I know how that ends. And I don't want to think about that. Like, fuck off. Like, don't remind me that that's where this all is headed. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to think about that. But yeah, um, I'm hoping, I'm hoping they tone it down a bit. But it's kind of looking like they're gonna do the opposite. In which I think they could. Again, it's a lot of this is just personal preference. This isn't like an objective like flaw, but I'm not a fan. And it seems like my guess from this is that the Starks are gonna be putting Jace onto the White Walker threat, um, kind of roping him into the like prophecy that's motivating Rhaenyra and that motivated Viserys. Because as well balanced as the conflict in the show is, I do think at least like superficially, Team Black is getting a lot of like legitimacy from the show itself, like saying like they're destined, even though we know that's not the case. Like it's that's just not what fucking happens. Um, the show like kind of treats them as if like they are the like they're the good guys, just like by default. Um, which tracks for certain reasons, but I also don't. I don't know. I don't love it. I do think this does strengthen their position. Because despite what many a normie says, I do think Team Green has a very strong and legitimate. And we are talking about Westeros, so you just got to remember, like the laws are bullshit. They are bullshit. As soon as people don't like what those laws actually mean, they go, yeah, we can just break those rules though. If we have enough swords and people willing to do violence, we can just ignore those rules because fuck them. And then after they're in charge, they go, all right, now everyone better follow the fucking rules. So no side I think deserves to be in power, and because that's kind of the whole point of this franchise. Like no one should have this kind of power. No, this system shouldn't exist. And we should all be thankful that we don't deal with this kind of shit anymore, and that we never had to deal with dragons on top of it. Because oh my god, humans cannot handle dragons. We got and yeah, that's and like shit like this. Like I don't need to see Daenerys's eggs, which these might not be, but I don't know. They even if they're not, they obviously want us thinking, "Oh my god, are those Dany's eggs?" Like it's 3 multicolored eggs. It's I don't know. I don't need to be thinking about Daenerys, and her genociding King's Landing. I don't need to think about that. It's not really important. It's not really relevant. Just I feel like you got a good enough story here that I don't love all the tie-ins. especially like the tie-ins to like John and Danny's stories, because those were just so fucking disappointing. But like I said, who knows? Maybe if they do the impossible, fucking if they redo the later seasons and they fix everything. Rewatching all this, it might be actually like exciting and cool and be like, oh my god, like from start to finish, it's like a whole complete cool story now, and like there's a bunch of foreshadowing for the next sequel, for like the like not trilogy, but for the Game of Thrones show and House of the Dragon. And it all leads to a very, very satisfying finale, so we could all be happy about it. But for the time being, it's just gonna keep being distracting, and yeah.
They are a protector of the realm.
I'm not sure what the shenanigans are going on in King's Landing. I'm assuming this is like early season. We get shots later, and we had shots in, I think, the green trailer. Yeah, the green trailer where it looked like everyone was at a funeral. I'm guessing that's Viserys's funeral, because we never did get to see that. Everyone was in such a fucking rush to get Aegon on the throne, that they kind of skipped over that part. They kind of forgot to mourn their king. But now it looks like they're getting on that now. And it looks like some goofy shit is happening. There's a shot later where we see Aegon on I was about to say Cyrax. Is it Dreamfire? Fuck. Starscream. Yeah. There's a shot where Aegon is on Starscream, and he's wearing his optimal prime armor, and I think the thing is we don't see any other dragons. I think there's a dragon. Actually, is that smoke? Is that smoke right there? Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. I think it's just like chimney smoke. But I'm wondering if this is a dragon attack. Because the idea of like an army like sneaking in, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure what this is. That's going to be a lot of this video. I don't know what's going on. As I said, I have not read the books, so I do not have the omnipotence that other people might. Got our boy Aegon, our bastard boy. He's look at him. Yep, he's feeling himself. He's feeling that crown. He's loving it. Which I'm excited to see where that all goes. I thought it was actually really cool to see Aegon kind of do this heel turn in episode 9, where he spent like his whole life growing up being like, I don't really want the throne. That doesn't seem interesting at all. Just never, ever, ever pursuing it, rather than having it like being forced upon him, and seeming to really, really not want it, to the point where he's ready to run the fuck away from King's Landing and just, I guess, be a fucking hobo or die just so he doesn't have to be king. That's how bad he doesn't want it. But then when he gets on the stage and he has the masses cheering his name, and he gets that little feeling of like, oh my god, like they love me. the Tobey Maguire meme. They love me. He goes, shit, maybe I do want to be king. Maybe this isn't so bad after all, which I do like. I thought that was a very rare instance of a heel turn actually being like justified and sensible. And I'm really excited to see this side of Aegon where he's swinging around his power, because I'm really curious like if he's gonna run into the same issues as Alicent. Like, how seriously are people gonna take him? Like the same way like Joffrey like had certain limits, and like Tywin could control him pretty effectively, but Joffrey he was able to just execute Ned on a whim and start the War of the Five Kings, which is insane. So I'm wondering if Aegon is going to have any similar such moments, or a style of rulership. I'm curious who these thugs are. I won't be able to pick out certain people just based off of what they look like. Got Rhaenyra pretending to be Mulan.
We're going to King's Landing.
We're going to King's Landing. So that makes me wonder: is Daemon the one fucking shit up at Viserys' funeral? Because I could totally see that. people mourning his brother, and him being like, "What is this? What is this blasphemy? You're the fuckers that killed him." Because I think Daemon is convinced of that. I think he found the timing a little too convenient, a little too show-worthy, and he was like, "What the fuck? We just left, and you're telling me Viserys died like the night we left? Are you shitting me?" Yeah, I could see Daemon going to fuck up King's Landing. Thing is, how does that even end? You know, I'm sure we're bound to see like anti-dragon shit, like scorpions. Even though Game of Thrones tried to pretend Qyburn fucking invented anti-dragon artillery, which is just hilarious. But whatever.
What are we going?
We got our war council. We got Aemon here, which is interesting. I could see Alicent putting him there. I don't know if Otto would want him there, to be honest. I feel like he'd be okay with it. Or fuck, maybe he just because I doubt Aegon invited him. Or fuck it, maybe he just walked in, sat himself there. Or maybe they're like, well, if you started this war, you're gonna have to sit here. I don't know. Could be a lot of reasons, but as far as I was aware, Aemon is not on the council, and was not before, but he appears to be now. He even has his own fucking council ball. So I'm very curious to see what his like official role and title is. Also, very, very interesting, because when you look at the way the council is stacked, that's not even Otto. I'm pretty sure that's Tylan. I can never remember their names. Otto isn't even here. Okay, because I thought he was over here. I was wondering. Yeah, so I'm curious if Kristen Cole is here. Like, how normal is that? How normal is it for the commander of the Kingsguard to be sitting at the council, like in one of the like highest positions as well? Like that's Otto's seat. Like, that's kind of wild. I'm very, very curious what's going on. Very curious where Otto is. Don't know. Did Otto get got? Is that what happened? Holy shit, that'd be crazy if Otto got. Would not put it past.
What are we going to do about it?
We must play the board before.
Fuck dignity.
Hell yeah, got ourselves some ancient Lannisters. I really like I love the helmets. I like how they're different, but you can see how these would evolve into the future Lannister helmets, with like the face wings coming off the side, because they still have that kind of almost samurai look, but they're not quite the same. I might throw a picture up on there. I'm trying to keep it light on.
News spreads through the.
I'm pretty sure this is Bela. I don't remember or know the name of her dragon, but dragon looks sick, and Bela seems to be fucking shit up. I failed to mention this in the Lord of the Tides video, but Bela actually gets a decent bit of characterization. She like stands up to Vaemon when he like starts circling, and he's like, "Oh, it looks like we're gonna need a new ruler," and she's like, "Fuck you, like my grandma's in charge, like why don't we just keep it like that, you sexist bastard." Which she doesn't say that, but that's definitely the vibe you get. Because later, when it's announced that she'll be marrying Jace, she looks pretty pleased at that development. Which she doesn't strike me as the kind of person to be super happy about an arranged marriage normally. But I think that what we're supposed to take is that Bela has aspirations herself of being queen that she probably inherited in a way from her grandmother. And I think seeing the injustice that was visited upon her, and that is been visited upon Rhaenyra, I think she's going to be, I think this might be a bit of a girl boss, which we'll see how they pull that off, but her dragon looks fucking dope. And yeah, I don't really know. I'm not like a geolocating expert when it comes to Westeros. So pretty much anytime I see like green, I just go, "Oh, is this the Riverlands?" It could be a lot of places, but again, sadly, I'm not. This is not the channel to go to if you want me sniffing those details out. Love seeing some siege weapons. It's always nice. Got quite a diverse bunch of houses. It looks like. Again, I don't know any of these shields. I tried looking up the lamb one earlier, but honestly, these are gonna be minor houses. It looks like. Hell yeah. But got some sea battles. This looks like a fairly casual boarding, to be honest. Like these guys got pulled over. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Okay, so this is the sea snake cutting off probably cutting off trade. Because that was, which I really like that they're doing that. You know, actually addressing like how does one fight like the ruling power of Westeros. And it's like, well, there's actually a lot of ways to do it. But the key is you gotta do all of them at the same time. Otherwise you might get fucked, because that's definitely what your enemy's gonna go for. So choking off King's Landing of like supplies, I'm really curious to see how effective that's gonna be. Because honestly, I just despite the stupid the fucking horseshit that happens in season 8 with Dany's dragon getting shot down, like boats are so vulnerable to dragons. Like I feel like one dragon could just wipe a fucking fleet. I don't know how good, like I don't know, I just feel like you'd have to fuck up pretty bad as the dragon rider to give anyone like a decent shot at your dragon, even if they did have like a fuck ton of scorpions mounted on like the ships. Like something that big is going to be really like slow and hard to like move, so like good luck shooting a fast moving target as it's like whipping around in the air. But also like they're boats, like you just got to set like half the boat on fire, which a dragon can do in like a fraction of a second, and it can literally just mow through them. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the feasibility of this is going to be, but I do like the effort to stop trade, if that even is what's happening. I could just be rambling about absolutely fucking nothing. Got Caraxes, my big worm boy. I know many, especially Glidus, love Caraxes and his big silly neck.
Isn't a leader strong enough to unite him?
And don't get me wrong, I do too. I fucking love the effort they put into actually like differentiating all the dragons, as opposed to Game of Thrones, where all of Dany's dragons were the same, and Drogon was just bigger, and they all had different like shaders. And that was it. But in this show, they have very distinct features, and I think it's fucking dope. I love it. And as much as I like Caraxes, I think Vhagar's easily my favorite. We do get a shot of Aegon's, and Aegon's looks super fucking cool. That one might beat out Vhagar, but honestly, Vhagar's just, dude, she's so fucking sick. Just a giant flying nuclear warhead of a dragon, and she's got her giant fucking her neck flap like she's a big old iguana. She chomped Luke right in half. Like how could you not love her?
Do you accept me as your queen and ruler?
I really like that. We're going there, which we went there a little bit in season 1, but I do think Daemon is gonna have a hard time. I know at the start of season 1, Viserys is like, oh, he doesn't have the patience, and Daemon like chuckled to himself like, haha, he knows me so well. And I think that was true at one point, to an extent. But I think what Viserys kind of failed to realize is, like, Daemon would grow into someone who does want legitimate power, especially, like, I think a part of the reason Daemon is going to get, like, really power hungry is just because he's going to be pushed further and further to want to seek revenge, which I'm curious, because that's kind of where I'd expect Rhaenyra's character to go. But it also seems like they're going to have Rhaenyra and Alicent kind of trying to, like, pull back, like, trying to rein everybody in, and ultimately to no avail, because there's only one way this can end. Everyone getting rogued one.
Accept me as your queen and ruler.
And yeah, I don't think Daemon. I think Daemon's gonna have a hard time following and being obedient. Not just because Rhaenyra is a woman, but because he's the rogue prince. He was heir at one point, and I think the reason he didn't care too much at all about the throne before was because he was such a simp for his brother that he would never do anything to, like, harm him or, like, expedite his death, which is kind of what it would have taken for Daemon to, like, keep his claim, because not only did Viserys disinherit him and give his claim to Rhaenyra, but then he had a bunch of kiddos after that, and now they're all fighting over it. So Daemon was, like, one Rhaenyra away from the throne. Now he's, like, a Rhaenyra and an Aegon and an Aemon and, like, a King's Landing away from actually being in charge. And I don't think like, he fucking choked her last season. He called her out in front of everybody. I know he ultimately ended up conceding to her, but I think Daemon is going to continue to struggle bending the knee to Rhaenyra, because I imagine she's gonna keep pulling some Viserys shenanigans where she tries to sue for peace, and he very clearly wants to sue for war and revenge. Because right here he says, like, they need a strong leader
to unite him. Isn't a leader strong enough to unite him?
Yeah, he sees Daemon, because Daemon definitely sees himself as, like, the second coming of Aegon the Conqueror. So yeah, when well, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where that all ends up. And of course, oh my god, look at him. Look at him. Oh, he looks so good. Oh, he's glorious. Fuck. Damn. Oh, Aegon. I love the crown being implemented into the armor. Also, thank you for wearing fucking armor on the back of your dragon. And it's like, it looks like a real armor too. Rhaenys's is okay. I don't hate it. I wish it wasn't so like fucking slim fitting. I just feel like you're like Daemon, like I don't know, you should always you want protection, goddammit. Especially if you're, like, flying through, like, fucking volleys of arrows and shit, and your dragon's breathing fire, and, like, potentially some of it's, like, washing over you at various points. As usual, his face cannot be covered. That is not allowed, even though it would probably be a better idea. And, you know, you probably don't want the wind in your face. He will not be covering his face, which is weird because there's, like, a shot where Rhaenys is, like, wearing a fucking mask on the back of her dragon. I don't know what all that's about. Well, we'll come. Yeah, this shit. Yeah, what the fuck is that? You can't see it. Hang on. You can see it from behind though. Yeah, see that thing? There's like a. She's wearing like a mask. I'm pretty sure. Which I like. It makes sense. Why wouldn't you? Like, what the fuck? Where's all the face coverage? I get that we need to see the actors, but like when they're on. Like, do I really even need to see Aemon's face? Like, he's on Vhagar, for crying out loud. I'm not gonna not know who the fuck this is. Like, you could also just give him distinct armor. You could light it properly. I don't like the whole. I don't buy the whole we we can never cover their face because the audience is too stupid and slow. They won't be able to keep track. I get that it is going to be harder, but there are ways to compensate for that other than just saying fuck it, just show their face.
prevail.
Not like this.
Yeah, and then we got Allison saying, "I'm not a fan of how this is all turning out," which I know some people don't like. I know a lot of book readers too, especially. Don't love that Rhaenyra and Alicent are being treated a bit more like victims in the sense that they're kind of, they don't have a ton of agency. They're not like, they're not powerless per se, but they don't really have any control over this situation. It's kind of the classic Game of Thrones conundrum, like all the power in the world and like no control at all over this fucking nightmare of a system. Which I like it. I think they're handling it pretty well. I'm really hoping that, I mean, I feel like Rhaenyra should be instigating at least for a while. I get the idea of her being like put off by like some of the methods being done, and then maybe wanting to pull back. But by the end of season 1, like her son just got like she's ready to start. She's ready to go to war. Like that's why this is gonna happen. Like Rhaenyra is gonna retaliate for what happened to her son, and everything is gonna spiral out from that. So I'm really curious where the buck stops with her, because I would really like to see a good amount of that. I would like to see some villainous-ish Rhaenyra, just her just wreaking havoc, her just going nuclear wasteland on the Greens for what they did to her son. But I don't know. I don't know if we'll see. We'll see how that all pans out.
That makes her a fool.
And yeah, that's the other aspect of it too. Like I do like the friendship aspect between Rhaenyra and Alicent. The idea that they're like they loved each other. They were best friends. And it would have been great if they could have kept that friendship alive and if they could have just helped each other through their situation rather than literally becoming sworn enemies. But I appreciate that kind of like Fox and the Hound, but with extra steps approach, where they start off as just as two humans do. You meet each other, you like each other's company, you have fun. What could possibly go wrong? Like, this is great. And then life happens, and now you're on opposite sides of a civil war. Like, got Bela again. Got Crimby Cole. I'm talk about Crimby Cole later. We'll see where this guy ends up. Because I think they've already fumbled him more than a few times. I don't really know. I don't know what was lost in translation. I'm really curious. I'm gonna have to read Fire and Blood after the show is over just to know. I'm really, really curious what the original intent was for him, because to me, this is like the most confused character in the whole show. He kind of just spurgs out and gets away with it in ways that don't really make sense, with Beesbury's murder being like the most fucking weird, where he like accidentally kills him by sitting him down too fast. It's so fucking weird. And then he doesn't get like arrested or anything. He like pulls his sword on the commander for trying to arrest him. I assume that's what he was gonna do. And he's like, "Fuck you, our queen was insulted." And then it kind of, this is why I'll talk about it later.
The enemy without may be fought with swords. The enemy within is more.
What's the... Oh my god. What the fuck?
Is more resistant.
I cannot... I thought this was Rhaenyra the first time I saw this. That's... Oh my god. I mean, they are family. It makes sense. No, that's Aemon. And I've seen, so I don't know. I've been very good about avoiding spoilers. But apparently Aemon has a love interest ? That shows up in this season. Perhaps a Hua that he met in that house that he visited when he was looking for Aegon, and the lady recognized him. who knows? Very, very curious to see how that goes out. I'm wondering if that'll be because this kind of hints at like, oh, maybe this will be classic sex position where after he gets his post-nut clarity, he gets to tell us and the audience and his girl how he's really feeling about killing Luke.
Hideous.
I don't even know what this shot is, to be honest. Like, it looks cool, but I got no idea what's going on. Got a random Valarian. I think this is Helena. There's like no. There's like no Helena in this trailer. We got Reyna. I'm really curious to see what Helena does. I'm wondering if she gets got. Also, the shot is just weird. I don't see Helena doing this.
More than one way to fight a war.
And they fixed her accent. That's awesome. Got some crazy quick shots. Got some assassination attempts, it looks like. Some more incestuous blinking. And whatever is going on with King's Landing. Yeah. So, yeah, Helena's still there kicking it. Also, holy shit. Yeah, that is a... This woman looks terrified. That is acting right there. Jesus. Boing. Yeah, what's with the mask? I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. Just wondering, why is Rhaenys the first one to have thought of this? Surely that's been bugging people. Because dragons in this universe fly so fucking fast. Like, fucking bug could take out your eye. Fucking, there she is. Honestly, I commend the restraint. I'd be throwing Vhagar in every single fucking, like, there'd be like 5 clips of Vhagar in every trailer, if I was in charge. At least.
War is coming. And neither of us.
Ugh, it's so good. Look at that shot. God damn. God damn. Now that's something to be excited about. Hell yeah. Well, that was fun. Thank y'all for joining me. I will see you in the next one. Patreon in the description. For anyone still watching, super big thank you. To anyone already subscribed, extra big thank you. I love you. You're amazing. And like I said, I will be hard at work on that Wolf and the Lion video. I just have like 5 times the amount of shit on my plate, and I have like half the time to deal with it right now. So it will come eventually. Best of Thrones, the plan right now is to do at least like 3 episodes per season, which that means there will be at least 12 Best of Thrones episodes. And those will be done one day. I'll keep dropping them until we reach the final boy, which would be Watchers on the Wall. That'll be the finale. Get excited, because that'll happen in like 5 years at this rate. But yeah, if I can get more eyeballs on the channel, if I can get just some money going in, also just once I'm done with full-time work, hopefully in half a year, when I can go back to part-time, the pay should improve quite a bit. But like I said, in the meantime, I'm going to try to just do more stuff like this. I'm going to try to get some friends in here and have some chats, maybe play some games. We do have some, been playing Helldivers too. Have some good clips, but I need to try to see if I can actually get that into a video-worthy format. But anyway, that's it for me. Yeah, take care.